I won't put the 0-3 on there. Jason specifically requested. He's like, I'm so bad. Make sure everybody knows how bad my record is. I'll drop it in there for a hot second. I won't make him live with it. It just doesn't seem right. We all have bad days. All right, I think that's correct. Eyeball these names. Look back at the stream. Looks good to me. All right, coming into round 4, we bring you another exciting match of Dragon Ball Z cards. Both local players here, which, you know, most of the players today are local, but honestly, we got a pretty good turnout from people coming out of town. We got a solid showing from Chicago. We got a solid showing from Ohio. Probably people from a few other places that I just haven't been able to, you know, catch up with. I've been back here most of the day, but it was a pretty good tournament. I think this is actually the highest turnout for a non-regional event we've had here, which is kind of awesome. But, you know, I mean, I guess everybody wants to kind of at least get their last licks in as official support kind of wanes for the game. But it's nice to see people here. It's nice to see people playing. I like Dynamic Brawly. I think it's a cool deck. It's so cool. We've got 2 of them. The mirror here is really weird. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before, like a Dynamic Brawly versus a Dynamic Brawly, so I'm assuming this is going to be quite the slobber knocker, just a lot of like, all right, I'm going to hurt you real bad, and then, okay, I'll hurt you real bad in return. So we'll see how things go, but I suppose we're about to find out together. I don't believe they coordinated in any way to decide, like, Jason and Michael play here frequently, and we certainly all play together, but I don't think they were like, let's both use this deck. I think they just happened to both choose Dynamic Brawly. But like I said, I'm kind of into it. I don't think I've ever seen this mirror before, so I'll be interested in seeing how it plays out. Just waiting for time to start now. Everybody hanging out, waiting for the go-ahead. Yeah, I also definitely wonder how different their builds are, because there are, as much as you would think that Dynamic Brawly builds would be super beatdown heavy, like, you can totally build this deck to lean into the controlling nature of the level 2. Like, I mean, that's why you run Dynamic Brawly in the first place, is to have, you know, control from the start of the game, but, if you really lean into that with the rest of your build, like, you can make a very irritating, like, kind of pokey, weird deck. So yeah, I can't wait to see what each of these guys is packing. Jason and Michael, let's see what we got. Oh, this is round 4. 4 out of 6. So this match and 2 more matches in Swiss, and then I believe it's cut to top 8. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that the finals will not be best of 3, one way or another. Either it won't be laid out that way, or the players will choose not to. So I guess that leaves us with about 6 more matches counting this one. So not too bad. And Jason will go first. That is a meaty hand full of things that can hurt people. We're going in. Oh, Unleashed. Oh, man. All right. Tree of Might, not great. But still, that hand, in general, is just fine. So, like I said, we're going to really get into it here. And Jason will lead on a face-off, which is real good. I love that card. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about taking the elbow drop there, but... you know, we'll see if it works out for him. I still think you want to keep level parity against Broly if you can. You know, even in this mirror. So the fact that he's probably going to be a level behind now, I don't think it is necessarily in his favor. Double Brawly power. Yeah, I don't love that from Michael either. Again, I think they're both kind of taking it a little easy. Like, these are guys who play together, and they have a decent rapport, and like those matches are kind of fun to just sit down and mostly have a good time. Oh, Chad, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Sorry, I got distracted. You distracted me from the match. But anyway, yeah, so they're probably not going to be, full tilt, like, out for blood here. But in the interest of keeping things interesting in terms of analysis, like, yeah, I would have liked Michael to probably lead on that Unleashed as opposed to just kind of, like, brawly powering for no reason. Just in case Jason had, like, I don't know. Or I guess he just saw his hand, so there you go. I've disregarded my entire point. But that's the these things happen when you're back here on the sidelines for a little bit. Jason launching into it. For as active as this combat could have turned out being, actually no one's gonna like I said, the big shift here is that Michael got to level 3. Like, there isn't gonna be a ton of damage dealt this turn by either Jason or Michael, but being a level ahead is certainly gonna be a big deal. And I also wonder if Jason, like, I bet he plays, Unleashed stuff, but maybe not. And if he doesn't, that's just one more door closed to him for leveling up. So I'll be really interested to see if that stuff pops up. But even if it does, Michael's got the Trailing Blast attached now. So he will be essentially immune from one level down if Jason were to go that route. So this game has gotten off to actually a pretty interesting start. All right, we'll pass out. So yeah, again, Michael might have taken like a smidge more damage than Jason did that turn, but he's certainly in the lead right now, just in terms of overall game state. And he's got that tree to boot, which, that's far from a game-breaking card, but extra damage doesn't hurt. Brawly 3 hits pretty hard as it is. I think he's contemplating combat here, or maybe just choosing a discard. I wouldn't hate going in on that hand at all, honestly. At Brawly level 3, he'd have hand parity with Jason with one activation, but he's going to back off. That's fine, too. Like, this game is so weird. I'm not sure, It's still hard to be aggressive against any Brawly period, so this is still a really strange matchup, but, like, Jason, and there you go. Jason does, in fact, run Unleash stuff. Not really surprising, but, it's not impossible that he wouldn't be packing that stuff. And Jason's going in, so things are about to get rowdy. That's quite a hand. I still think, I think that's sort of dangerous. Like, he doesn't necessarily want tree attached, but throwing out the Brawly power as opposed to just leading on the Unleashed, a single stare down basically ruins Jason's whole turn and maybe ruins the game for him without just throwing that Unleashed and hoping that it goes through. So leaving one more out open for Michael to deal with it, like, I don't love that play, but... Shoulder slam does a bunch. Anti-anger, not really a big deal at this point, but, in general, I think you definitely have to run that stuff in Brawly builds like this to stand a chance in, like, an anger moderate meta. Like, there are a significant amount of anger decks floating around. They're not the majority of decks you'll fight over the course of a tournament, but you'll almost certainly fight one or two of them. You're still good. Mike Ingersoll has returned.
I've returned from my judging duties.
How are things going out there, judge-wise? Like, overall, pretty
good. We've only had one question. It wasn't even really a question.
Mm-hmm.
Someone accidentally shuffled a card back in that they were supposed to rejuve.
Yeah.
So that was only the only trip up so far.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty good for, like, half a tournament. Like, that's, as far as infractions go.
Well, the tournaments here usually do pretty well policing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everybody who plays like literally at the store locally is super experienced at this point. So
yes, even what would be considered some of our not as strong players,
sure,
just by sheer experience with all of the more known players, they know the game pretty well.
Yeah. It's a good environment.
Yeah,
It's a great place. If you find yourself in Michigan, for DBZ reasons or otherwise, come to Eternal Games and check it out. It's an excellent store.
Yes,
they sell a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of cool events for other things.
Really good selection of games, and we do run tournaments. We're open 7 days a week. We run tournaments every day for various card games, Hero Clicks, Dice Masters, all that stuff. Magic, obviously. But yeah, what do we have here? We've got Broly, Saiyan on Broly.
Dynamic
Saiyan
Broly
action.
mirror. Yep.
Oh boy. Defense be damned.
Mm-hmm. And Jason is clarifying for Michael that does in fact banish Tree of Might. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Mike, you might be running over there to make this ruling.
Oh, that, yes.
Mike, I would say go over there and clarify that for them, since you are head judge.
Yes,
like
I
we
will
wouldn't
do that.
send somebody over if they were exclusively commentating, but Mike is also in charge of keeping things real here, so he's going to go clarify this for them. But I appreciate them holding off because Michael isn't sure how that interaction works, so he wants to clarify. Which I like that. I like asking. It's always better to ask and then resolve than to just go forward. But yes, attached setups, and I don't think there are any attached rules, but if they were, it would still be considered, you would still be targetable by effects like Eraser Cannon. And Michael's really getting in there damage-wise at this point.
Pieces restored.
Yep.
So yeah, they just wanted to clarify that that's how it actually works.
For sure. Like I said, I appreciate that. Wanting to know, take a minute. Why not? Why not ask?
Oh, yeah. And in any card game, always ask.
Yes.
Always call a judge if you're unsure about something.
Yeah, it is always better to have a question and have it answered than to assume something and try to go fix it later on.
Yes.
Mike, someone wants you.
So yeah, we'll power through the rest of this combat. And like I said, this is basically just like, I'll attack. All right, I'll attack you back. Not in a bad way necessarily, but it's just a very active, very aggressive match. Like, that's how Brawly mirrors go. And I want to say Michael still has a very slim lead here, but they both still have so many actions and so many things left to do that it's probably going to be very, very close by the time this combat ends. And in fact, Michael's got that elbow drop that it looks pretty certain he's not going to be able to use this combat, so that's one more attack he won't be able to respond with. Jason will throw out that choke for damage. No card draw because they're dead even at 0. Michael may respond in kind. Yep, same thing. I punch you, you punch me better. Oh, never mind. Look, they're. I forgot what that card actually does. The draw is just the part of the hit effect. It is not contingent on being stronger like the unstoppable part is. I have played very little Saiyan. I apologize. That's something of a personal failing of mine. But everybody has their holes, I guess. It's just a style that I didn't necessarily try out that much as the game evolved. And yeah, Michael draw into a spin kick. A lot of damage going around here.
It's Burly Saiyan on Burly Saiyan.
Exactly. That's the way that goes. And like I said, even though Jason pretty much achieved parity with Michael in terms of levels, like this turn he kind of met him at 3. Even basically just being 1 action ahead on level 3, was more than nothing. I think that was a slight advantage for Michael going into this turn.
Yeah, he's certainly going to pay for that, getting back up there. Which I guess Broly's playing for, if you're on even terms, you're playing for a stronger hand next turn.
Yeah. remembering anger effects, but yeah, good stuff. Shoulder slam for bunch. I mean, not in the grand scheme of how much that attack could do, but like Michael's already a little ahead, and he's kind of continuing to get further ahead. Which
Yeah.
Jason's gonna do menace stuff, which like not necessarily as consequential as it would be in other matchups, but you know he can plink him for 3, or in certain cases maybe stage lock him out of performing like an elbow drop in other
Yeah.
circumstances, or just pushing him down in power stages even just to take a little less damage. So like that card does more than nothing in this matchup. It's not like a game-breaking effect by any means, but
Sure.
it'll do a little work. Figuring out that is correct. Jason did enter this turn. So there's a second elbow drop, energy block, something else. Oh, okay, face off. That's a pretty aggressive hand.
Yes.
Like kind of dangerous to go in on, considering how much stage cost is actually in there. Like the fact that
Yes.
none of those elbow drops are free. That's a little
He
scary.
is at 5 anger though.
Right, I was gonna say. So the thing, going in. I would think what Michael really wants is just to have Brawly hit. Like, I bet he'll lead with a Brawly power and just hope that it goes through.
Yes.
He could also leave with a face-off, or I guess even one of the elbow drops. I don't like that maybe quite as much as one of the other 2 options, but it's not a bad option.
Okay. He does go with a face off.
There you go. Yeah, I'm just fine with that. And from a that is a much more cautious even keel play to sort of he doesn't need to necessarily go completely balls out right now, but he wants to maintain momentum.
Yeah, and you're going to guarantee, you have a better chance of it getting through
For sure, yeah.
by choosing a card in their hand.
And you
so-
get a lot of information this way. And yes, yeah, exactly. That was his most likely chance to secure the level
Yes.
that he's about to gain. So yeah, I think I like that play a lot.
Jeez.
8. Yep. Oh, so much endurance.
Yeah. 2 threes. 6 endurance right there.
Like he's checking to make sure it doesn't have anger. It is one of the more strangely worded masteries. The way that the dynamic anger gain effect works,
Yeah, it wasn't exactly elegantly put, I guess. You could
and
say.
it works with some cards are affected strangely by it. Like wall breakers performed by dynamic don't give you anger because they reference anger in the text box. All right, Jason's going in with Brawly. You got a Saiyan Crash, I think, which it's another attack he can perform, so that's
Yeah.
not bad. And just like that, Michael's at 0 again, which I even still, like I said, to this day, forget that how effective Brawly is at the level transfer.
Yeah, anti-leveling.
Yeah. So, I mean, Michael is immediately out of steam at this point, which, certainly not ideal. And Jason's hand is enormous.
Yeah, he did use the draw effect on.
Yeah, exactly. He
Probably level
He
3.
leveraged the power that Michael forgo to basically be more likely to secure the level up that he got.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason's gonna
Get some damage.
probably
here.
close the gap here this turn, or at least come real close. I bet the life deck totals will be very similar by the time this combat ends. He might even be a little ahead.
Yeah. Especially if he gets the Saiyan Rescue and all that going.
Can't quite tell what Jason's anger level is. I don't think he'll secure a level this turn, but if he does, that would be,
Pretty brutal.
yeah, that might end the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike might have gone in a little hasty to level 3, or to level 4.
Yeah,
excuse me.
and usually, again, in general, I chastise people for not being aggressive enough, but specifically with a hand that had that high stage cost in it in a matchup like this.
Yes.
That is a hand I would have passed on.
Yeah. Just discard one of them. Oh, okay. Interesting.
And we're out. All right. So yeah, Jason did run out of steam just in time for Michael to be like,
Yeah, he had an elbow drop and an energy attack that he couldn't perform also.
Yeah.
So that was key.
say, yeah, luckily Jason drew into a similar hand of these things have costs that I can't necessarily cover. That back crash is going to be a big deal. Elbow drop still in the mix. Oh, I guess we could have just seen them just as well. Unleashed is back. Is that 2 more Unleashed? Oh, never mind. No. In fact, it might not even be 1.
No.
Are those just both that block or some other card?
I believe it's 2 of those.
Yeah, okay. Energy defense. Oh,
He
no,
does
there
have
is an
one
Unleashed.
Unleashed.
Okay. He did draw 1. Which actually will net him more stages going down, maybe? Or is it... I think there are some...
think
Are they
so.
symmetrical? Like, I forget if it Broly is when you level up or when you change
it's
levels.
only when your opponent...
We're about to
No,
find
I'm
out,
not sure,
probably. Because either way, he's got 1 attached card. So even if he's got nothing left, he can go down a level if he wants to. And he probably wouldn't want to go lower than 3 anyway.
Yeah, and he could always then lower Jason as
Correct.
well.
Yeah, Jason did unleash this game, so he is now susceptible to being unleashed down.
Oh, there's so much to do.
Not a lot of cards left. Again, that's how these Brawly mirrors
Yeah.
go. You just beat the crap out of each other pretty quick. There we go.
And down to level 3.
So yeah, I mean, like 5 stages. That's more than
5 is
that's
greater
like
than 0.
almost a full attack's worth of damage. Like that's you need every inch you can get at this point. They got it. Yep, it is indeed 5 above. And now I think he's just contemplating.
If he wants to
Right.
lower. Which, I mean, you have 2.
I mean, I would definitely lower Dan
Yeah.
or Jason. I don't know why I keep saying
Pretending
Dan.
not knowing
At least 1 level.
Jason's hand.
Right. If not 2, maybe. But 1 for certain.
Yes.
And the 2 levels would honestly be just to keep him as far from 3 as possible. Like, 2 is the level I think you'd probably want to lock Jason at.
I like that because it doesn't have an attack.
Yes,
If he puts him at level 1, he could just knock down his stages and be done with it.
correct. Yep. Level 1 still gives an anger.
Yes.
And it is 1 more attack. And yeah, I think that's just fine. I think that's certainly more correct than not lowering him at all. Like, I like that choice. Say, hold on. Yeah.
And 1 card anyways.
In fact, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Does 8 total. 6 plus 2. And we're going up. And I like that also. Like,
Yes.
that is 100% in Jason's favor.
Yep. 'Cause Michael levels up first, technically, so he doesn't get the...
Lucky for Jason, that trample wasn't out last action.
Yes.
It's going to do so much, though, with Broly.
Oh, they're forgetting their stages. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
They're
no
jumping ahead
endurance.
to the life cards.
And those should be banished. Is that right? Yeah,
Yeah, there we
they
go.
got it. Good. Yep.
Like they're
I'm trying to
reading
remember all the things that Broly 4 does. Yeah, no endurance and damage banished. And you can reveal 4 attacks to blow up everything.
Which there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. In this matchup, it's like, all right, I guess that's cool. But
Yeah.
not coming into play so much in a Saiyan Broly mirror. Yeah, at this point, we're even just coming down to, like, who can have the right sequence of attacks left.
Exactly.
Like,
Which I think Jason just has more cards in his hands.
yeah,
so
exactly. This combat,
If
Like
Mike
this-
can survive this, I think he's in a good spot. But I don't know, because Jason's got 3 cards to
for
the
sure.
0.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
he's at Broly level 3.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think this is probably Jason's match. But if Michael doesn't die this turn, exactly, Brawly 4 is that powerful that, he could immediately enter and just throw one giant thing, and it might be enough.
Yeah.
So we'll find out in a minute or two here, but Brawly 4 banish. Get that damage in, why not?
Yeah. Every little bit counts.
And then, we'll just basically see if, or no, never mind. I was going to say if Michael has enough endurance, but Jason dug this turn,
Yes,
so
he
that's
did.
not even a thing. So, I doubt Michael's going to survive this combat, but
Probably not.
very soon we will know for sure. Jason's just wondering what he's got left. Left decks are very small. Yeah, he's got that
He's
back
got
crash
that as
and an
well.
Unleashed. Yeah. He's got, I see that physical block. There you go. That is an attachable card, so he's got at least one. And he could have leveled up with just the rescue anyway. But.
Yes.
Now here, I doubt he'll do it, but I don't don't bother changing Michael's level here. Just go for the kill.
You should have him right here.
This is so much damage.
Yes, especially.
Yeah, he's gonna do 4 things that do about 1 million damage. So, I bet this would. If you add it all up, it's gonna be about 40 or so life cards of damage.
With no endurance.
Yeah, exactly. With no endurance, for 2 reasons.
Ugh. 11 stages, 8 life cards.
Just a chunk,
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do it. These games are rough, man.
It's
Brawly Mirror is no joke for sure.
it's all damage all the time.
And again, to a less explosive kind of that went similarly to the way that that Ruthless Goku match did, except that both players were on a relatively even playing field.
Yes.
They're both playing very similar decks, and it's just all right. On some level, there is a kind of a weird level of micro decision making. In terms of just all right, I need to look at my whole hand and decide what sequence I can play this stuff in to eke out even maybe 2 or 3 extra life cards.
Oh yes,
because
there
that's going to
always is
matter.
that. Timing on attacks that you're going to play.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cost of cards I think played a major role in this.
For sure, and that's a thing that you could change drastically in a build, that you could decide, all right, I'm going to go, mid to heavy. Attacks that are good but have some significant costs,
Yes.
or I'm going to explicitly lean into having, stuff that's cheap in an effort to. You're welcome, Jason.
You're welcome, Jason.
He thanked us for streaming that match. You could take the opposite route and just make an effort to look, I'm going to have everything in my deck have as minimal cost as possible because the thing I want to do is throw every single attack that I can every time that I can.
Yes.
But overall, I didn't hate either of their builds, and I think they both played pretty well. It's just,
It's just hard because
Yeah.
I don't think they're building for the Saiyan Brawly matchup.
yeah, exactly.
The
yeah.
meta is not that.
Agreed. They are 100% building for the general meta, which is pretty physical light, sort of ally heavy.
Not stage locks. Certainly.
Exactly, yeah. Physical beats in general is not the thing to be afraid of, but when they face off like that, that's the matchup that it is. So it's tough stuff, but that was a good game. Solid effort from both players. Good stuff. Hey guys.
Hello.
All right, well that's round 4. So 2 more in Swiss, and then a couple in Top Cut. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere. I'll bet round 4. How much would you guess? I say you can probably tell us how much time is left in the round.
Right here. They have 13 minutes left.
All right, so probably about 20-ish minutes, maybe a little longer, depending on how many games time out before round 5 starts.
In the later rounds, they
Sure.
don't usually.
Yeah, people already have
usually
losing
go,
records
yeah.
and they don't care that much, or they're powering
And,
through.
and the experienced players are playing each other now, and they kind of
Right.
understand what's going to happen. Very few things go to time, and very few things are going to extend past the time anyway. So
Yeah, well put. Good stuff. All right, well, Jason's here.
So
Do you guys want
Michael-
to say anything before I? Are you good?
What does the scroll have to say?
No, it was good. It was a fun matchup to watch, Brawly versus Brawly.
Here, let me.
Can I be on camera, guys?
Yeah, you got to scoot in a little bit, but there is if you. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, come on in.
Yes.
The winner of a round 4 match, and runner-up off camera. You can lean in and wave or just chill there. I won't make you do anything. Yeah, no, that was a good game. Like I said, it's just the whole matchup is just rough. Like that mirror is harsh. It's just hard to deal with.
I'm sure if you guys could hear us, we were like calling out each other's mistakes.
Yeah.
We're like kicking ourselves. We're like, oh man.
That's good though. Like I said, I prefer that to like the. It's just so much more. Regardless of how you do in an
Organic,
event,
you
it's
know?
just so much nicer to go and just be like, all right, we're here, we're playing cards. Ultimately, we want to have fun. Like, let's not make it a fucking international issue.
Exactly. To me, like, I didn't come here for the money. I mean, there's no other reason to come besides just wanting to play the game. It's done, it's over, but it was like one last hurrah. Especially this past, season. I didn't get a chance to go to too many.
Yeah.
I gotta make it out. It's a shame that it's done because I had big plans to go to more next year.
Right.
Yeah, as did I.
But and especially the types of decks I play, I mean, I haven't had a chance to like really experiment with a lot of stuff, so it's kind of a bummer.
Sure.
Because all my decks usually I play neutral.
Right.
How do you screw that up? There's no mechanics behind the deck.
Play stuff until they're dead. Just
Yes,
go. Just
exactly.
keep piling the cards up until all of theirs are gone.
Back at Scoresy, I was the same way, man. I don't know if you remember my nail deck when it first came out.
Yeah.
That was my deck. Physical beatdown, man. Off the charts at level 1. Let's do this. So I've always been that kind of guy too. It's kind of a shame that I get a chance to like experiment out and not a game like that.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see how things go. Like I said, it's still not quite the same thing. Like, it would be better if the game were alive in the state, like in an actively supported official product state. But I'm still excited that there will be the opportunity to play if we want to. Like, for people who want to stay engaged and stay interested, like, we'll be able to find matches. There's still more ways than ever. Like, every single year, there's going to be, for sure, at least a handful of, like, things to travel to
Larger
if people
tournaments.
right exactly
Yes.
if people can kind of get up the gumption to go out. Octagon exists now, so if you really want to catch matches like wherever you are, whenever you are, you can hit up people on Facebook or whatever and make that happen. Like, it's not ideal, but it's better than it was. It's a better time
better
for
than
the Dragon Ball Z
having
card game to have died than it ever would have been previously. So yeah, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep in touch, especially when it was on Facebook at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a different world now. In some ways, mixed bag, but overall, I'll take it. Like,
Yeah.
the future, the present could be worse.
Yes. Yes. We could have no Dragon Ball, and that's it.
Exactly.
This is the last one.
We'd all be lizard men, and top hats would be abolished. Anyway, on that enlightened note,
Yes. Yes.
thank you, Jason, for coming over. Thanks, Mike, for hanging out. We'll be back with Round 5 soon. Congratulations. Sure. And Michael, congratulations on a well-played match. Like I said, it's just you guys got into a thing where you built decks that were good against other decks that were not necessarily your own, and then they butted heads, and somebody's got to win. So
And like I told him at the table, it just really came down to drops. He drew an energy block and I drew a physical block.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like good. Like those two cards combined is like that might be like 15 life cards of damage swung overall.
We were both really thin. So. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good stuff. All right, so yeah, we'll be back in round 5 pretty soon. So don't go too far. We'll be back.